Hey, come see us on tour. We'll be in Tempe, Arizona, Los Angeles, Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, Cincinnati, Lexington, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets. Don't go anywhere else. Hey, it turns out that the New York high school students are going to participate in a statewide walkout.
This is amazing.
Against trans athletes competing in girls' sports. Yes, this is... So high school students across New York plan to participate. The statewide demonstration set for October 24th is being organized by the Coalition to Protect Kids, a group that has strong backing from the Catholic Church and the New York Republican and Conservative parties.
So that means I'm against it, and I hope they punish those kids.
Hey, it's not right for boys to compete against girls in sports. It's a huge disadvantage for girls, says Hannah Pompeo, a 16-year-old soccer player at Eden High School near Buffalo, who is participating in the walk-off for Fairness Day. Millie McCormack, a student dancer at Summers High School in Westchester County, said she and her sister, Beatrix, would also be taking part in the protest. I believe in that. What is it? The Debrett's Book of Etiquette for young women. It includes having a penis and testicles, I think, and the ability to completely knock a vaginally endowed woman across the room. That's the Book of Etiquette. Hey, I know.
P. Diddy read that book.
I know it may look like it's unfair, but it's fair if you use the metric of somebody was mean to you, so you get to be mean to someone who had nothing to do with what happened to you to begin with. It's like It's like they're the embodiment of Israel. Anyway, here we go.
Well, wait, walk off for fairness. They should have to walk off against trans women. I bet they'd lose.
The group supporting the walkout opposed the controversial Proposition 1 measure on the ballot in November 5th election. Proposition 1, also called the Equal Rights Amendment.
What?
Would enshrine abortion rights in the state constitution.
What does that have to do with the walkout?
I don't know. New York
is that to smear them?
New York already has among the strongest abortion right laws in the nation, and critics claim the ballot measure is unnecessary and just a ruse to try to boost Democratic turnout in competitive congressional and state legislative races, as well as for the White House. Oh, okay. The proposal also asks voters whether they support or oppose adding language to the Constitution stating that people cannot be denied rights based on their race, color, ethnicity, national origin, age, disability, creed, religion, or sex, including sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, pregnancy outcomes, reproductive health care, and autonomy. Boy,
what rights are people currently not getting that they should be getting?
That's the
right to beat up women in a
boxing match. I don't know. Here we go. Opponents argue adding such expansive language would open the door to allowing athletes who identify as female and are born male to compete against women and girls, which they claim would discriminate against athletes who are born female. Girls are being systematically canceled in this state, and Walk Off for Fairness Day will give them a safe opportunity to make their voices heard, said the Coalition to Protect Kids New York spokesperson, Ayesha Kreutz.
Kreutz.
Kreutz? Is that how you think you say it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's German. Kreutz.
Boy, the one thing that the proponents of this bill never expected was to be called a misogynist.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Feminism should land on an aircraft carrier with mission accomplished behind them right now for this situation, because that's who did this. Social justice warrior feminism, and it's hilarious.
So many of these young women are afraid of speaking out, so they're forced to watch as 50 years of female athletic progress gets washed away by destructive ideologues. Girls are not second-class citizens, so why are they being treated that way? The reason they're being treated this way is because the elites want everybody fighting over everything except the elites and the oligarchs themselves.
Yes, we are all second-class citizens if you're not one of the oligarchs. You're a second-class citizen. Sports... By the way, athletes are a kind of slave, just so you know. I don't know why people look up to athletes. You're owned Oh, you make all this money, and they complain. They are owned like horses. So when they make a commercial, Nike, are you going to stand up and for women and buy us the way you do fake women? Like, what are you talking about? The whole thing is rotten and dirty.
So let me finish this article. In April, the state education department issued draft guidance that would allow trans boys to compete on girls' sports teams. It also would allow boys, regardless of their gender identity, to play on girls' teams if the school fails to offer a boys' team in a selected sport. You got to be shitting me.
I can play field hockey finally? I identify as a small girl, by the way.
If Prop 1 passes, these regulations could be protected in the state constitution, the coalition claims.
And yes, I can shower with them after I'm a girl.
The guidelines have been put on hold following public outcry, at least until after the election. The Republican and conservative parties are urging voters, including parents and their student athletes, to reject what they consider progressive overreach.
Boy, Democrats really picked a winner of a thing to get behind, didn't they? A thing that really is going to go over well with the popular vote.
The Prop 1 ballot amendment would roll back the protections guaranteed to women and girls under Title IX of the Education Amendments signed into law by President Nixon over 50 years ago by giving biological males a constitutional right to compete on girls' teams and taking away the scholarship and playing time these young women have worked so hard for, said State Republican Party Chairman Ed Cox. Okay. So the person standing in the way of boys on girls' teams is a guy named Cox. You got to be, come on.
There should be blocks. Blocks, not Cox. Ed Cockblocker, more like it.
You know how girls can be around the locker room talking about grades and homework, and one of the girls is in the shower with a huge erection? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do know. You mean a better girl?
Yeah, a better girl.
Easier to clean girl?
Yes. The main group backing Prop 1 accused opponents of running a scare campaign. There's no bigger bully than the Coalition to Protect Kids, lying to students and parents to scare them into turning on each other. No, I think that's what you're doing, said Sasha Ahuja, campaign director for New Yorkers for Equal Rights. I don't think that's equal. That's the whole point. The whole point of having female and male sports is so that it's equal. When you mix the two, it's not equal.
Well, what they mean is what they're talking about is the amendment for warping reality to make it what I want for queer theory. The purpose of queer theory is to destroy all gender categories forever. You're never done doing it. I know people, a lot of liberals who haven't looked into it will be, oh, that's good, queer. Queer and gay are enemies. They're enemies. In fact, trans and queer are enemies. Because if you're transitioning to another gender, you want that gender to exist. You don't want to get rid of all the categories, or else why would you get the surgery? So queer is a snake in the bosom of these people, and most of the people haven't read the insanity of queer theory, so they have no idea how batshit and awful it is, because most Americans don't fucking read.
Prop 1 is about protecting abortion permanently and preventing government discrimination. Full stop. And they know it. In their desperation, I'm mad enough to admit that I'm for abortion permanently.
But not Medicare for all, because the oligarchs have paid for this, would never want us to pay so that you're not destitute if you have a child. And then people wouldn't get abortions, because the reason they get them is they can't afford to have a kid 9 times out of 10. And the other reasons they get abortion, I'm fine with. The main reason the abortions are, I can't have a kid right now. I don't have any money. That's number one. So you want to eliminate abortions. How about Democrats and Republicans don't want that. What a surprise.
Nobody even talks about it. Bernie doesn't even talk about it anymore. Nobody talks about it. Kamala Harris used to be for Medicare for all when she ran for president, and now she's not. She used to be for banning fracking, and now she's not. And she doesn't tell anybody why she flipped on any of these issues.
Do you see a theme here, though? Transitioning, abortion, war. Everything is to sterilize your kids because rich people don't want poor people breeding. So if you're not rich and you're mad at some minority group because you're like, they keep breeding, no, those people are heroes, the people you look down on. That's rich oligarch shit to think only Nancy Pelosi should have 16 grandkids. The nuclear family is already the family broken down. Rich people have 7 generations of they got generations of family. In the 50s, they came up with the nuclear family, which is basically the single mom of families.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Even the nuclear family is kind of BS. But isn't it weird that the Kennedys, like Bobby Kennedy's family, they're all super big Catholics, but they're also super big Democrat shit libs, and they're for abortion rights? Isn't that kind of contradictory?
Well,
I wonder if anybody...
No, abortion. Look, I'm for it because I'm like, okay.
I'm for it to keep the government out from in between a doctor and a patient. That's why I'm for choice. I'm not for abortion. I'm for choice.
So all you got to do is make it so it's not the end of your life and a misery to have a child. And most people will
like have
how
the baby.
Hillary used to talk. They'd say pro-choice. They wouldn't say pro-abortion.
Right.
You know, and they'd go safe, legal, and rare.
And rare.
But they've never wanted it rare. Ironically, that dipshit Rush Limbaugh, when he would call the term feminazi that he made up was not about feminists. It was about women who want as many abortions to happen as possible. It was a Holocaust of BB's reference. And I'll be damned if they're not feminazis. They want you to not have kids. Bill Gates wants everybody vaccinated to lower the population. That's a weird thing to say. All the things that these assholes support are to sterilize. Oh, we got to have plastics in all our food so that we can't take the poisons out. Everything is to make you sterile because they don't want poor. And by poor, they mean people that are like, not what you think is poor. They mean you, Jimmy Dore, who is not poor. They don't want you. They don't want anyone outside their bloodlines having kids because they're the good special people. And they can't tell you, how many ways can they tell you this? Every single day of your life. They tell you it 50 different ways.
Hey, come see us on tour. We'll be in Tempe, Arizona, Los Angeles, Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, Cincinnati, Lexington, Burbank, California, and Honolulu. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for those tickets. Don't go anywhere else.